Okay, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me properly. Just let me know. Hello, Yo Addict. How are you? How was your week? Okay, so let's start because it's time. We'll start with recommendation of the day. Mm, This time it's You Are My World. I was very on the edge when it comes to this one because at the beginning I really liked it, but it became quite toxic later on. It's an omega verse, so we have alphas, omegas in this setup, and as you can imagine, some kind of toxic situation rose up between those two. So it's about a childhood friends. When they were children, they were very close to each other. Mm. And as they developed, when they grew up and manifested into their respective genders, if we can call it like that, it was like other way around. As their children, the one who was very protective, very upfront, a little bit rough on the edges, turns out to be Omega, and the other one, which is more artistic, more delicate in how he behaves. He was always, being protected by the other one. They promised each other to be together forever. Manifest as alpha, and this creates a difficult situation. The dynamic breaks, although the alpha guy is still chasing after the omega. Although he's very still, delicate, very respectful, and behaving in very submissive way towards the other one, the omega. So I will show you a front cover. So this is what I'm talking about. So on the left we have the alpha guy, and on the right we have the omega one. And the omega is very into judo. So he trains, he tries to be best, goes to the competitions. But because of his trait, it becomes difficult. For some different reasons, I won't spoil too much because you will find out while reading the manga. And this is how they looked like when they were children. So as you can see, the Omega one was, a very upfront and very protective, while the future Alpha was very delicate at that point. And yeah, it was a big surprise for everyone. What I really like about this manga, and why I recommended it, there's a lot of humor. As you can see in here, the alpha guy was bullied, and he always came to the rescue of the other guy. I think I have one more graphic. Do I? No, I don't. Yeah, so why I was on the edge when it comes to this one. So it was always this dynamic of chasing. Alpha was still chasing Omega because he still loved him, although those traits became difficult for them. He was very respectful at the beginning, and there was nothing going wrong. But at some point, the dynamic started to change. The Omega was pushing back a lot, but because of pheromones which Alpha was constantly showering him without any consent, he was able, to participate in those tournaments, do the judo without nobody noticing that. Although they noticed the pheromones, but they thought, okay, they are a couple, they are an item, so it's normal, but the Omega guy wasn't aware about this. Hamiko, at the beginning of my recommended page, what's it's trying to tell me? Okay, I don't know what you mean by that, but maybe you can explain. So he was pushing back a lot, and at some point, the alpha guy started to back off. The whole story, like they were building a setup where this other Omega guy at Alpha school was, warming up to him, although he was ignoring him. So we all thought that maybe this would be some kind of jealousy arc. So Alpha will pull back, and then Omega will realize that, I have feelings for him. So I will now chase him, but there's this new maybe potential love interest, so jealousy will be there, and like everything was building up to that, and I was like, okay, respect yourself, because as soon as Omega noticed that he's showering with pheromones, he was angry on one hand, but on the second hand, he needed that for competitions, so he could participate and train judo. So he approached the alpha guy with the purpose of, some fluids exchange, very delicate, like jerking off or whatever, to be able to mask his omega traits and avoid heat and so on and so on. So this is when Alpha started to pull off, because he saw that he approaches him not because of the feelings, but because he needs something from him. And until that point, everything was great. There was a lot of humor. There was like, okay, now we are respecting ourselves. And I was like, good for you, alpha guy. But it started to spiral because another alpha came into the picture. Omega guy was very drunk. So there was a misunderstanding, and that led to very aggressive situation between our original pair, which was, to me, it was disgusting. In a sense, it was like, show some respect to yourself. Of course, there was this RAPE situation. Again, I'm avoiding the words to not fall into bad grace of YouTube. But I really didn't like that. I was like trying to drop this multiple times at this point. And now we are back to where it looks like the dynamic is back to normal, although they are closer to each other. And there's a lot of comedy in there, which I really, really enjoy. When it comes to comedy, it's very funny. So that's why I, brought this back and give you the recommendation. But be aware that there's this, although it's not like it's a semi-consent happening in there. Omega is, going with that to some extent because he needs it for competition, and he's being driven by that. But on the other hand, the alpha guy is, pushing because he knows that the other guy needs, and he will do a lot to achieve what he needs. So it's a very difficult dynamic in this one, but something different to what I usually recommend. Okay, so again, if you enjoyed the previous recommendation of the day, leave a comment. I'm really curious if you like any of those recommendations. So now we can jump into our main topic for this live stream, which is continuation of my shelf with Tokyopop. Meal's name, which one? The one I talked about? The one I talked about was You Are My World. It's also in the chat, and after I finish the live stream, I'll post it as a top comment, so we can always come back to it and see the name of the recommendation of the day. On the screen, Lullaby of the Dawn. Lullaby of the Dawn by Ichika Yuno. So this one will be the first one on our agenda from part 3 Tokyopop mangas. No problem, you are welcome, Meals. This one is also very good. It was unexpected situation because I'm not so much into guys with long hairs and stuff like that. I talked about this before, but the story is really good. It's much deeper. The manga is driven not by smut, not by sexy scenes. It's driven mainly by the plot. So if you are looking for something driven by the plot, this is the one to go. So we have two main characters in here. There's a very deep, dark story behind what's going on in there. They reached that around volume 6 and 5. There are 6 volumes released at the moment. It's released by Tokyopop. It's 18 plus. Yes, no, it's 16 plus. But through first 2 or 3 volumes, and I assume this rating will change. Hi again, hello, get a job, you lazy bum. Welcome back. So this one, the smart progress as they go, because at the beginning the main lead, because main character is Alva, if I remember correctly. Elva, it's the guy with the white hairs. He's the main character, and the main lead is the other guy. So let's go with the description. Get a job, you lazy bum. Which story is the most spicy? So this is not the most spicy. There are some on the agenda, the spicy ones. So when we get there, we will dive a little bit deeper into spicy ones. The one I recommended at the beginning, which is You Are My World. There is a lot of spice in there. So let's go with the small explanation. So night after night, Elva steps forth into the Black Sea. Sword in hand, he drives back the creatures that surge from the waves. Elva is one of the Kanagi, warrior priests chosen by the divine to protect the island. With his snow-white hair, an aging youth and black-stained limbs, proof of the corruption that gradually takes the life of every Kanagi, the local people fear and shun him, at least until his path crosses with that of a boy named Alto. So Alto is the main lead, which we saw on the cover. Enraptured by Elva's strength and lonely soul, Alto swears to serve him and free him from his cursed fate. After 8 long years, Alto has grown into a capable and fearless young man, unwearying in his devotion to his Kanagi. Elva had long ago resigned himself to an early death, but somehow Alto's presence seems to be gradually healing him out of the Black Sea corruption. And what does it mean? By some power, and you will learn why when you read the manga, you can see those black limbs. So this is the corruption which affects all Kanagis. There are 5 of them, I think, in the manga. So the island is detached as an island from the mainlands. So you have north, west, south, east. And all of those areas are being protected by different Kanagis. And as they are very young, they are raised by the church, religious organization on the island, because the children with this mark on their forehead are destined to be Kanagis. So then they are, recruited, they are raised in there, and then when the time is right, usually when the previous Kanagi dies or passes away, then it's being replaced by the new one. So they are very young, they don't age as they normally would, so their aging is slowed. Or usually they, pass away before the difference is noticeable, as you could see. In case of Elva, Alto is somehow affecting him, that these black stains are receding. You do know Alien Stage, I love it. Is it BL? I don't think I recall this one, but maybe I read it. If you can give a brief explanation what this is about, maybe I will know, because again I'm not good with names and the titles. So yeah, so it's moving back. Alto parents, we don't know much about them at the beginning. He is living with his distant family, or he was adopted, I don't remember exactly. There's BL and girls love and straight relationship. I don't know this one. I can check it out later and we'll see what it is about. So I'm also open to recommendations. So let's take a look inside. So this is the setup. This manga was actually featured multiple times on my channel in different shorts and videos, because again I feel like it's really good. So here we have Alto when he's very young. He visits our Kanagi, feeds him. The creatures are not manifesting during the day, so Kanagis fight them during the night. So when the evening comes, they go for their duty. So during the day, they usually sleep and rest because they are exhausted after the whole night. So first chapter is first volume is a lot about, you know, learning what's going on in here, although we don't know a lot of what's going on. There's twist upon twist upon twists when it comes to the story. So that's the small sample. And at some point, small spoiler, Alto is not affected by the sea, by some coincidence. So as you can see, the corruption is very bad at this point, at the beginning. They get closer to each other. And maybe let's try to find out when he gets older. So this is Alto when he is older. My favorite people in Alien stage is Teal. I will remember that when I get to it. Yeah, so everyone in the village keeps a distance, although his Alto is building a bridge between village and Elva. There are some people outside of the of the island, and you will also learn later what's the connection in that. So it's very mysterious, very oh, this is a different Kanagi in here. So as you can see, also corruption is very bad. So that's the volume 1. Very strong recommendation to read it. This is volume 2. Elva also will start aging a little more. So I won't go inside into those chapters because I don't want to spoil you, and that would be a boomer, because again, it's not driven by six packs, smut, and the songs are amazing. Oh, so there's anime adaptation, from what I understand, based on your comment. So this is volume 3, Get a Job. And yeah, so then we have volume 4. And as you can see, the corruption already receded. So it's not as bad as it used to be at the beginning. And here, I think Elva is a little also more mature when you compare it to volume 1, although he's a little bit girlish in here, and that's not something I like. So in terms of how characters look like, this is not my cup of tea, but the story is really, really good. And then we move, but there's captions. It's Korean. Okay, that's interesting. I really like Japanese dubbings. I don't like English dubbings when it comes to animes. I prefer captions. And sometimes with Korean or Chinese animes, I prefer to have a Japanese dubbing with English captions. So this is volume 6. And that's the most recent one. There's a very tragic story related to this character. I will try. I don't promise it will happen until next live, because it's happening this Sunday, actually, when we'll be unboxing my Amazon haul. and there's super exciting title in there. Yeah, but at some point I will for sure take a look, because yeah, if you say it's good, then why not? Let's try to find out. Yeah, but it's more about time constraints, so we will see how it will work out. Okay, I'm checking my computer for chat, and I don't know why it doesn't keep up with the stream on my phone. Yeah, so as I mentioned, because I'm checking the messages on the phone, it's a little bit confusing for different reasons. So before next stream, it will be quite difficult, because usually we have like once per week, and this time we'll have two of them because of this, what I have in here. You saw maybe the picture when it comes to posts, but until the next one, after the Sunday one, I will do my best. So moving on to the next manga, which is again a very good pick, very beautiful pick. It's very artistic when it comes to covers, especially. So we will get to the covers in a second. And the title is, what's the title? And World's End Bluebird. So that's the title for this one. Don't worry, it is short. Each episode is about 2 minutes, but in June there will be more of them in high school. So yeah, I will try. I can promise you I will try, but I cannot promise that I will do it because of how many things I have in my backlog, but at some point we'll get there. So World Ends Bluebird, post-apocalyptic world, Japan. Also very interesting setup. Some would say magic, some would say advanced technology. So I won't go deeper into that because yeah, it's the whole plot is about finding out what's going on in this one. So we'll keep that on the side for now. The main character in here, which is not very often, is the top guy. And the bottom one is main lead, and it's this one, a wizard, as they call him. So let's go through the description, because I think it will do it more justice than my description. So after a meteor hits Earth, Tokyo is saved by a powerful sorcerer. Years later, the city ends up split between the haves and have-nots, with the sorcerer descendants ruling over them all. Ray, a handyman from the slums, will take on any job for the right price. One day he meets Guang, an extraordinarily pretty, secretive and arrogant man from upper society. After spending a night together, Ray finds himself protecting Guang, which may cause him more trouble than the money is worth. Fantastical, magical love story about overcoming fate in a painful and impossible world. So, you'll have to find out what really is going on in there. So let's go a little bit deeper. And what's the rating? The rating is 18 plus. Although this one I would also say it's not about the smut, it's about the story, about the plot. In this case, characters are a little more to my liking when it comes to the previous one. The bottom guy is less girly when it comes to this story. So this is the top guy. And he do all kinds of jobs, even when it comes to his body. When he tries to make money. So no job is above or below him in that sense. So there's this strange storm over Japan, and this sorcerer is capable of bringing sun and changing the weather. So there's this another mysterious build-up when it comes to to the story. Let me look for some smut, some safe, not dangerous smut when it comes to the story. Okay, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much. And there's nothing. So it's all too much or nothing. So nothing in between. Okay, again, too much. So maybe there are going edits. So I underestimated my initial impression when it comes to this one. There is quite a lot of smut. So it's a power struggle story, different factions, different castes, hierarchies when it comes to this one. It was out for quite some time, but I was avoiding the story because the other character is not so much to my liking. But then many people recommended this story. It has really good ratings. So yeah, I tried it out because again, if the story is good, then it's not. Who am I to say no? So there is some smut in here. You cannot see private parts, so it's safe. So this is how they look like, their builds. When it comes to the characters, so they are not so crazy about six packs, the third leg between their legs, so they are more realistic when it comes to body build. When it comes to that, the BL is all in stage so good, it's even until they kiss at one point, but that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it. Sorry, I'm talking too much. No, it's fine, it's just, you know, I'm not always able to respond to all of the comments at the same time, but it's fine, please go. We don't hate. If it's something you really enjoy, as long as you are not toxic, then everything is allowed. So that's fine. And yeah, and I'm not ignoring you, just, you know, I have to divide my attention between the chat and the main topic of the stream. So this is the volume 2. That's what it looks like, and this is what we have inside on the first. So there's also a lot about this ring. It's an important item in the story. Then we have cover number 3, and when I was creating a short with most beautiful covers, actually I included one of those into that short because get a job, Lazy Bum. See you next stream. Have a nice day. See you next time. Yeah, and then next time we'll talk about Alien stage. So bye bye. So this is what we have on the back, and this is what's inside. So a lot of like these divine themes in here, and this is the volume 4. Very subtle, delicate cover, and I need to catch up the volume 4 because I did not read it yet. And this is what you have inside. Okay, so yeah, please subscribe, like, comment, this helps a lot. And then we move on to the next one, which is Scarlet's Secret. I read this one, I really liked it, I highly recommend it. Those two are childhood friends. One thing though, Alien Stage is so nice, it's for free on YouTube and the manga. Okay, that's important information because some people cannot afford to purchase. So if you like it, you can watch it. Then let's go through the description. So with his crimson eyes and uncanny ability to predict the weather, Shiki was the odd child out in his village. Despite his quirks, the village chieftain's son, Yamato, always considered him his dearest friend. Then the shamaness Himiko, ruler of Yamatai, selected Shiki as a ritual sacrifice. Unwilling to accept Shiki's apparent death, Yamato spends years searching in vain hope for any sign of his best friend. But when he finally finds Shiki at Himiko's court, disguised as the shamaness and inheritor of her divine power, Shiki is no longer human and can no longer act upon human desires. Despite that, Yamato is eager to swear himself into her service, quote unquote, and stand by the shamaness side to lead their people. Like this, they can remain close, but they must resist their love or risk going against the will of the gods. So in this story, there's this clan with divine powers, and they are looking for successor, and because this guy possessed some of them, some of those divinity, under the pretext of the sacrifice, he is recruited and then replace the shamaness. Bye bye, Jay. Get a job, you lazy bum. What's the rating? It's 18 plus. There's smart, but not much. And it starts a little bit later. It's more like a very primitive, or maybe not so very primitive clans or settlements, but it's more like, you know, not Game of Thrones, but settlers situation between different villages and different cultures, because they fight each other and they are not very developed when it comes to architecture, buildings. Get a job, you lazy bum. What do you want me to know? But moving on. So this is the beginning. So our main character is the top guy, and main lead is the bottom guy, which pretends to be a shamaness, so a woman at this point. Yeah, and then we jump into their childhood story. So as it goes in this kind of stories, because the guy was different, he gets bullied, his hair also stands out because they are red, I think. Or maybe eyes are red, so not hair. But I thought both of them are red. So here comes our protector, a similar theme to what we experience when it comes to my recommendation of the day. Okay, so let me go through maybe when they're a little bit older. So this is the sacrifice situation. So they burn the place, but there's... Oh, I won't spoil, because I hope you can read it and enjoy it. Yeah, and this is when they are a little older, when they reunite. So there is divine power involved in this one. Okay, there's some smut in here. Okay, I can show you a little bit of that, because no private parts, but sexy scenes. So this is how they look like without clothes. And at the end, we have really a nice additions, because there's like character design, some explanations to how it looked like, and you know, designs are very intricate, so that's a cool addition. So that's a highlight in some sense of this manga, and I pay attention to those details. Different tribe, different clothes. What is in there? Is it safe? It is safe. But again, I don't want to take away some sweet treats from this story. So if you want to... Yeah, and there's even more explanations at the end. So if you are into it to understand the meaning or the inspirations, then that's the thing. Moving on. All you want, whenever you want. So based on the cover, I guess there's much more smut in this one. I don't remember if I read this one. Maybe I did. Let's go through the description. So opposites attract in this risk office romance. There's a lot of office romance lately. On the surface, handsome sales manager Tsubaki is all smiles and professionalism, but underneath he's a workaholic who bears the brunt of a tyrannical boss and overworks himself to avoid heartache. When his first encounter with Makino, a new transfer to his division, results in a clash of personalities, Tsubaki assumes they might be too different to get along. But the fearless Makino turns out to be just Tsubaki's type. An attraction sparks between them when they end up as next door neighbors at the company dormitory. So that's the description, 18 plus. This is what we have inside on the first page. Boobies. Nobody wants those boobies. I don't know if you watched this from this Schitt's Creek series, TV series. The advice from Dolores, she was Dolores. Take 1,000 pictures of your naked body now. And now you think nobody wants to see those boobies. Remember, in 10 years, you will look at those pictures with much kinder eye. And think, I was a beautiful creature. And don't forget to upload them to internet before your children will find them and lose them. So that was super funny. Yeah, so this is the office setup, which we have in here. I don't think I read it, so I cannot say much, but I like how they look like. Oh, get a job, you are still here. I see, when the smutty, sexy one pops up, you are here. Let's find some addition. Oh, what's happening in here? Oh, there, I can show you a little bit, because the second page, although doesn't show too much, I don't know if it's on the edge or not on the edge, because they blur out the private parts, but they go to the public or office dormitory, bathroom, public baths or whatever, however it's called. So yeah, so this is what you are in when you will read this one. So it starts very innocent, maybe not so innocent, but yeah, I can show you a little more in this bathhouse. So there's some, boobies again, situation, and and that will. So it's only a few pages in, and they're going at it. I won't go any further into that, but this is a spicy one. There's a lot of smut in there, but it's a nice smut. It's not forced smut. It's not RAPE situation. And also, although they blur out things at the beginning, then when they are, doing it consciously, it's being drawn. So they draw the private parts in this manga, as I mentioned before. And sometimes it's lightsabers. In this case, it's being drawn, not with a huge amount of details, but still there are some details. And the aspect which I also pay attention to, they are realistic. So it's not like, for example, situation from this one, which you maybe know, No Love Zone. So this one is like a huge, it's like a elephant trunk, which is unrealistic. But moving on, oh my god, I can't get through the night alone. This is good one. I really like this one. This is really, I came back, welcome back. This is a really good one. It's like a post-war, Second World War in Japan, something like that, or during. So this one is US soldier, and they look really fine. So they are, very handsome. So in that sense, the physics is nice. So yeah, it's post Second World War. I really like this time period, and I really have few of really good titles which involves that. And on the previous live stream I talked about the one, where is it? This one. This is also so they are a little like small or on petite side when it comes to them, but those ones are more into this like alpha male situation, how they are portrayed when it comes to their physiques. So moving on, I can get through the night alone. Let's go to the description. So the year 1950, Japan. Traumatized by the war, Seishiro is unable to sleep through the night. This is until he meets Jim. So Jim is the top guy, the American. A friendly American soldier stationed in Japan. Seeing the opportunity to change his life, Seishiro suggests they become a couple. Jim is smitten with Seishiro's right away, seemingly oblivious to Sei's ulterior motives. At first, Seiichiro only sees their relationship as means to an end, but night after night, as he falls asleep in Jim's gentle embrace, the heart that broke on the battlefield slowly begins to heal. So that's the description. I need to take a look first what's inside, because we don't want to go into danger zone. Wait. Okay, no, it's nothing dangerous. So it's 18 plus. There are some boobies, but we can show boobies. It's not restricted on YouTube. So this is some situation from the past, the traumatized. Then we have some brothel, I would assume. Let's not focus on that side. And we have our Seiichiro character working at the club. If you watch the Memories of Geisha or the Blue Samurai on Netflix show, so you could see this relationships with American soldiers stationed in Japan at that period of time. So this is the Seiichiro, very handsome, looks very nice. Yeah, I will have to go through Hey Baby. So I will have to go through, and now we have the introduction of our main lead, which actually this style is I would say very distinctive for 2010 when it comes to mangas, BLs, I think. So I really like this style. I enjoy this style of how they look like. So obviously the gentleman standing up for the ones who are abused. Yeah, and if you like this style of 50s dance floors, parties, because it was a lot about that. You will find that in here. Oh, this looks really nice. So they are dancing together. So he is, a sly fox when it comes to that. And yeah, there's a kissing scene. He's also smooth with his words. You are so cute, Jim. I want to laugh so hard in this kind of moments. It's so funny. So they were supposed to have some kind of action, but the other guy fallen asleep, I guess, or pretends to be asleep. Yeah, I read it, but quite some time ago. Again, I would really recommend this one because I really liked it. There was obviously some drama and some, so this is a little more what I can show. And then a little more spice. So that's it for this one. Let's see if we have anything at the end to show you. No. With these ones, I really hope there would be more, like a follow-up. But yeah, it's just a one-shot. Okay, moving on. Then we have I Will Never Fall in Love with an Egoist. This one is also a lot about smut. This is a little bit about situation where one guy claims to be top and the other one tops him and converts him into bottom. I'm not a fan of this kind of plot because it's not so simple when it comes to real life. But let's go through the description. So 18 plus, Jean Aohara lives a carefree life in Hawaii, selling rice balls and flirting with tourists. When the brash Japanese tourist Kazuma Masaki gets into a fight outside his shop one day, Aohara finds himself as a Masaki's sudden new obsession. Masaki isn't the type to give up very easily, and he's never wanted anyone as badly as he wants Aohara. Aohara swears he will never give in to Masaki. After all, they are both tops. Maybe there is some switching between them at some point. Now I remember this story a little more when I read this Hawaii aspect of the story. And I would say I recommend this because I like the story and the dynamic of the story. Not so much this, top versus top situation and they're flirting, then showing off who is the, bigger charmer and alpha male. But their relationship developing was a highlight of the story and struggles which they had to overcome. So this is how the characters look like. For sure, the previous one is much stronger recommendation from my side. And why I didn't like it, the dynamic of the smut, because they are going at it with other people in front of each other. And my personal belief is 3 people in bed is a crowd. So no. And they are doing that to each other, to spark some jealousy, some engagement, or whatever. So I won't go deeper into the story. There's not so much when it comes to background images. It's mostly about characters. It's mostly about smut between them. And the difficulties because they are from different countries. So one of them live in Hawaii and another one lives in US. So it's okay. It's a fun read. I liked it. But now we have much better recommendation. Let's maybe shift a little bit view to the right. So a beast love is like the moon. So this one is, I'm sorry, let's go back because the angle is not so good. This one is really, really good. And again, this is not about smut. It's more about story. It's yokai, so we have spirits in here. So it's a supernatural setup. We'll go into the description. I read it. I was crying at some point. So it's you know, tears squeezer. So if you're very soft, then maybe that's not the read for you. But at the end of the day, I would highly recommend to read it. And actually, I have other title by this author, so Guri Nojiro. I have this In Love's Key reprised. I did not read it yet. But I have, you know, because I was so thrilled by this one, I purchased another one. There are other stories by this author. But for the tricky part is that this one was printed by Kodansha and this one was printed by Tokyopop, and I don't like because I have different sizes. I don't know where to put it, and I like things to be organized, and I like to put the same authors next to each other. So maybe they have different mangas, or there are continuations or same universe, and then I like to keep them together. And we are 53 minutes in, so, and there's still a lot of titles to go. So let's speed up a little bit. So let's go to the description, which is: tired of the fast-paced city life, Izuki has agreed to take care of his uncle's house in the mountains, which are said to be visited by yokai. Izuki, dismissive of the superstition, goes exploring only to be attacked by a yokai in the woods. He is saved by a beautiful man named Haku, who claims Haku. What was the Haku? What did it stand for? I don't remember. Who claims to be the incarnation, not incineration, incarnation of a Komainu guardian dog. Oh, Haku is dog, maybe. Inu is dog. He pledges himself to Izuki and begs him to be his master. However, Haku harbors a secret that could put Izuki's life at risk. Will Izuki and Haku come together in the end, or will Haku succumb to the loneliness that he's held at the bay for centuries? So it's 18 plus, there's a little smut in there, but the story and the plot is very beautiful. So this is our Haku being eaten away by different kind of corruption. Hi again, lazy bum. So that's the beginning of the story. I won't go too deep into the story because again it's driven by plot and it's a treat. Go for it, you will really like it. I hope so you really like it. I really liked it. There's some smut, it's being drawn, you can see private parts, so it's not lightsabers. Again, I don't care so much about that, but maybe some people care about this. So I try to give you a whole taste of the story. Yeah, so that's it for this one. Moving on to the one I didn't read. So this is Bergamoto Sunny Day. I did not read it. I like the cover. I like the colors. So, or maybe I read it. Let's see. Cafe worker Riku has just been dumped again. Despite always giving relationships his all, Riku can't seem to ever make it past the 3-month milestone in any relationship. And when there is Josh, the handsome, wealthy owner of the cafe, who seems to have it all together, when Riku wakes up in Josh's bed after what he can only assume is a consolation rebound, Josh shockingly suggests continuing a non-string attached fling. Fooling around with the rich man, will they drink champagne in the jacuzzi? Riku has no idea, but he's not going to turn it down. So that's the description. And now when I check out the description, I think I read it. So that's the first page, and I think we need to be careful. It's 18 plus. So this could be a story with a lot of comedy, with a lot of smut. So this is how it looks like inside. It looks a little bit familiar, but I don't entirely remember it. So I don't know if I can recommend it to you in a strong sense or not, but a little bit of smut, so some kissing, and that's it what I will show you this time, so you can figure out for yourself. But in this type of stories, and I already can see there's a lot of focus on coffee, a lot of focus on desserts. So if you are a foodie, and we had like in this one, the Confessions of a Shy Baker, this is something what you will enjoy because there is more focus on this one. So is this the kind of love I want? I read this one, although I don't remember it. I know I read it because the front cover looked familiar, but I don't exactly remember what it was about, so let's find out together. So after coming out as a gay to his girlfriend, Uta is now single. A year and a half has passed since the new circumstances had him move in with Ryo, a straight man who is his junior at work. I can see where it's going. At first they fought quite a bit, they also slept together, but these days they are as tranquil as middle-aged married couple. Only problem is they haven't had sex or kissed in almost a year. With their tense renewal hanging over his head, Uta is wondering if they had sex. He is no straight man, and let's make it clear. Yuda is wondering if it even makes sense for them to continue this way. Why would a gay man and a straight man, he's not a straight man, who aren't dating or even sleeping together, keep living like a couple? Why would a gay man and straight man who aren't dating or even sleeping together keep living like a couple? So to me, it's a bullshit. I don't have anything against being fluid, and I would say all people are to some extent fluid. But framing this like that, it's more of a clickbait to hook up some people for this. So very spicy first page. It's 18 plus. I will take a look inside first to know if it's, yeah, so this is how they look like. And their physiques. I think at some point there will be a guy going after a gay guy, and the quote-unquote straight friend will start feeling jealous, and this will spark this realization, maybe I have feelings, and this is dangerous because our status quo will be disrupted, and my lovely colleague will connect with someone else. Yeah, I cannot show you anything, interesting. It's mostly about their silly pull and push dynamic. Although, now I remember this a little bit, it was fine. It was funny, it was nice. I think I would recommend this a little bit more than the Hawaii Japanese guy situation. So it's a similar level, but I prefer this one a little bit more. I won't go at all into the second volume because the cover betrays or unveil some of the events which will happen in there. So it's fine, it's nice. Then we move to something I would strongly recommend, and I recently posted a picture about this one, which is Mitsuka. It's a spicy one. It's been a while since I read it. It's about escort. This guy is an escort or host. This is how they call them in Japan. So host not necessarily sleep with their customers. Some of them do, but this guy is quote unquote straight host. And this guy is a manager of a gay club, or how was it called in English? Like public house, in a sense, prostitutes. Yeah, and by different circumstances they connect and hook up with each other, and this is how the story develops. Let's go through the description. So, synopsis. 24-year-old Reo is a popular host with women and also very straight. Oh my god, very straight. Very, very. When he is approached by 34-year-old sex worker Takahiro, he somehow finds himself addicted to the feeling of being with him. So this is the sex worker, but he is also to some extent manager who hardly ever takes in any clients. So this will be also a plot device to build some jealousy between them. Addicted to the feeling of being with him. They even move in together so they can be together every night. Nevertheless, both of them are constantly aware of the fact that Reo identifies as straight, so the relationship has to end eventually. 18 plus, there's some smut. The quote-unquote straight guy is very innocent. In a sense, he's not sleeping with his clients as a host. Oh, okay. We are safe. Nothing crazy happened. Yeah, so it's a little bit crazy what's happening on the second page, so I cannot show it to you, but... And here is our main couple. So this is what Zain Amakadar 332. Hi, hello, how are you doing? Welcome. So we're moving. So that's a sample of the smut in this manga, so it's quite safe smut for now, because we cannot show too much. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. I think the story is quite interesting. I would recommend it. The characters look really nice. They're very realistic. Story is a little bit silly but cute. And if they will have a happy ending, you will have to find out for yourself. And that's the last. I don't think there will be any more. I that's it. Okay, we have 3 titles more to go. Now we move to Cover My Scars with Your Kiss. I really like this one. This was really good. It is very gentle, very sweet, comforting story with good smut and innocence. So that's how I would describe it. There's a little bit of chasing, there's a little bit of misunderstanding, there's a little bit of angst, so hurting feelings, some tears, but yeah, this is another strong recommendation from my side. So let's go to the description. Seiichiro Kurusu is a handsome eldest son in line to inherit a large company. So this is the guy on the right. After running into insecure dentist Nao Seto, and this is the one on the left, not once but twice coincidentally, Seiichi wonders if fate is at play. When Nao reveals that Seiichi actually reminds him of the man he's been unrequiredly in love with, Seiichi proposed a deal with him. For the length of time he receives his dental treatment from Nao, the two of them will date. Nao's tragic love history combined with Seiichi's status as a family heir and the impending calm down. Can something good come from such a relationship? I think this story is related to other one, but I cannot guarantee you that. So the deal is that they will date until he finishes fixing his teeth. I think he has a root canal situation. So that's the first page. And that's the Shacho, president in Japanese. Okay, so a little bit, I think we will be safe for quite some time until there will be any smut. So that's how they look like. Oh, and not far in there's smut. And in this one you have more or less lightsabers, so they are not being drawn like in the previous ones, but and small sample of the sexy scenes in here. So this is what I can show you, and we cannot go beyond that page. So that's the first volume, and that's the second volume. And that's the first page. So again, highly recommended from my side. I really like this one. Okay, now moving to another one which I highly recommend and like. It's from the Omegaverse. It's Never Let Go. It's quite tragic at some point, especially when it comes to Omega story. So you have to have strong nerves for this one. But based on the covers, there is a happy ending. Although I would expect there would be another volume, maybe at some point. So this is the front cover, Never Let Go. And then we move to the back and let's go through the description. Rich kid Haruto is used to being flattered and fawned over by fellow students. So when he is kicked out of his elite alpha school, he finds himself as the ultra desirable alpha transfer student at mixed gender high school. Everyone is quick to try to befriend him, everyone, that is, except student council president Miyabi, who actually seems to despise him. Haruto swore he wouldn't get involved with anyone at his new school, but something about openly hostile, sickly looking Miyabi keeps drowning Haruto in. So, from what I remember, I think the Omega guy is taking too many inhibitors. He's hiding his trade. He was, at the beginning, his mother remarried, I think, or father. So there was a situation where there was another sibling who was alpha and he tried to force himself on him. So now he lives separately in very poor conditions. And that's the premise behind the difficult situation of our class president. And this is how it looks like inside. So this is the top character. I think he's the main character in this story, and the Omega one is here we have where is it? Here we have class president already looking very hostile. So he looks very cynical, behaves in that way, tries to push away everyone around him. Yeah, so that's it. I won't go any deeper with that. So very tragic situation happening at the beginning. Nobody is forcing anybody on themselves, so it's not a sexual tragic thing, but it's more about living conditions of the Omega guy. And yeah, maybe I'll give you a small sample in here. Yeah, and that's how it starts, and let's say it gets better afterwards. Okay, no beautiful images on the second page, and we are reaching the end because we have one more book to go, and my voice is also giving out, which is very popular, very good story, Touch Within the Abyss. This author, Moyori Mori, is now very popular. Some mangas are being printed, and I won't spoil you, but there's another very good title by this author, which maybe you'll be able to see soon on my stream. It's about a relation between Yakuza or gangster to some extent, because I wouldn't call the top guy entirely a gangster, but he's involved in that world, and the blind guy, the kid. The thing on the edge is that the bottom guy is very childlike, so that's not super cool. They made him very petite, although he's fully grown adult, but you can see what you can see in here. So let's go through the description. So Hitman, he's not a gangster, but Hitman. Hinatsu once failed to pull the trigger on his target, and it cost him his brother's life. That day, the sole witness who took Chinatsu's trembling hand had clear eyes that stared right through him, straight into the abyss within. So we are talking about the blind guy. 5 years later, a poor purse snatching reunites Chinatsu with his savior, Kasumi, a young blind man searching for a way out of his own lonely world. Chinatsu knows better than to get involved with a potential witness, but he can't help but be drawn to Kasumi's radiant smile. If Kasumi knew the truth of their province, could he ever forgive his sins of Chinatsu past? If you knew the real me, you would be disappointed. It's 16 plus, so it's mostly about the story. It's not about the smut. Yeah, what can I say? I really like this one. It's really, really, really good. That's why it's so popular at the moment. I wish there would be more stories. So this is like how it started when they met. So in this situation, the hitman, the top guy, is smaller than the bottom one, but when they grow up, somehow this reverse. So you would assume Maybe he's even older than the top guy. I don't know that. That could be the case. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. Maybe let me give you a taste when they are a little bit older. It's something different. There are more and more mangas which include like disabilities. Some of them are better, some of them are not so good. This one is one of the better slash best ones, I would say. So yeah, so it's a really good plot. Anyway, if you have any questions, then that's your moment to ask, because we went through all of the titles which I have on this shelf when it comes to Tokyopop. I have more because I outgrew this shelf, to be honest. So maybe I will continue with them when it comes to Tokyopop, but when it comes to upcoming lives regarding collection overview, shelf overview, then maybe we'll pick Yen Press or Seven Seas Entertainment, because like at the bottom we have Seven Seas Entertainment, at the top we have a lot of Yen Press. Maybe I will create a poll where you will be able to decide which one we'll go through next, which one you would like to check out. But yeah, so that's it for today. I will wait 1 minute for any potential questions, and if we won't have any, then that will be it. Please like, subscribe, if possible comment and share. But you know, subscribing and liking and commenting helps a lot. Since recently I feel like YouTube algorithm stopped loving us because we had really good results, and now not much changed, but we get less views. That sucks. But you know, you have to be consistent, and in the long run it will pay off, and that's what we are trying to do in here, to be consistent. But obviously whenever there is more engagement, you feel like what you are doing makes sense. Yeah. So any last questions before we finish? This Sunday we will have live stream regarding unboxing. So new titles, fresh out of print, some of them a little bit older. But yeah, it will be very exciting unboxing. Okay, I don't see any questions, so thank you all for those who were here, for all the comments, for engagement, and see you next time. Bye bye.